Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now, I'm going to update you on what's going on with the severe weather because it has ramped up even more for today, especially for the winds, and your snowfall has changed once again. Plus, I'm going to update you on what's going on with this polar vortex coming down. The last two updates is still accurate. It's still going to the southwest, but it is going to dip through the center of the U.S. and the southeast as well. And the temperatures are a little bit concerning. So if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I am all year long. And you can see this morning where you're having all these flood problems in all of this green for today. But we do have the tornado watch that is going on, and there is a chance for 80 miles per hour wind gusts passing through. And these cells are moving through very fast, up to 58, maybe even faster miles per hour, just zooming on by. Now you can see for the tornado watch area that we do still get a nasty line that produces some damaging winds right behind it as it goes through the tornado watch area. And this is all the way to 10 and 11 o'clock, and the tornado watch is all the way until 1. But you can see right around 12 o'clock, it really gets nasty as it passes by Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Alabama, and you can't rule out a spin up or two. But the whole time you're getting all these storms right into the whole Ohio Valley, and this is going to be all afternoon long. But you also can see that as the storm comes along, your temperatures and your snowfall rating has changed. Instead of going all the way to Chicago, now it starts right around 2 p.m. And it goes all the way from Illinois into Indiana into northern Ohio when it starts transitioning right around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it starts getting heavier. But you can see how it just misses Chicago. You might get a little bit, but it is going all the way from Atlanta, Illinois, starts transitioning to Champaign, goes across Lafayette, Indiana, Fort Wayne, all of northern Indiana, and you can see the heavy banding in this dark blue. But it also goes up towards Detroit and Michigan. A lot of heavy banding coming through with this snowstorm, and it has changed your amounts. Matter of fact, a lot of people that it showed you going to get snow yesterday isn't getting snow, except for Michigan. It's still showing all the way from South Bend towards Sandusky is going to be a hot area. As well for the Northeast, it does transition from freezing rain to snow as you go into 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. Goes right across northern Pennsylvania. You see it don't go as deep as it did yesterday. Definitely going to be for western New York. Then as you go into 9 and 10 o'clock tonight and 11 o'clock, it starts moving towards the northeast. But at this rate, it does bring some snowfall towards Boston. Not a lot, but it gets some good banding right around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for tomorrow. So it didn't show you had snow yesterday, but the update does show that you have it for today. This snowstorm has been updated and moved so much in the last 48 hours, it is unbelievable. And this is going all the way up towards the northeast, towards the New England states as you go through tomorrow. Early a.m. snowfall all the way until about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you get some more possible banding coming right through for Boston as it leaves out for around 1 o'clock in the evening for tomorrow. But all of this tornado watch area will move again over into this region as you go into later this afternoon. Matter of fact, the winds really pick up as it moves through the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley and goes to the northeast. Some very high winds. And you can see this here, right when it gets about 10 o'clock and on, it starts raising up your winds to a lot of strong winds. Now, when you look at this, you can see that the winds are 40 up in the orange, gets up to 50 in the red, up to 60 in the pink, but it starts getting towards 70 in the purple, 80 in the blue, and it does get that high, guys. But you have a huge wind field. Still getting winds on the northern side for the southern Ohio Valley, still getting on the southern side for the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley. And as you go into this afternoon, this is where it really ramps up. Not only over here for West Virginia, southwestern Pennsylvania, that is 80s up there in that blue, but it is doing it really good for Kentucky. Now you're getting those 70 miles per hour wind gusts as this comes through. This is going all the way until 6 and 7 o'clock at night. Really strong, especially around the Richmond area for Kentucky. But look at these winds that pop up, not only for the Ohio Valley, because these are all 50s in the red. This is still 5 o'clock in the afternoon, all that pushes east. But look at these winds that really ramp up for Pittsburgh, a little south and east of Pittsburgh. But we are talking about 80s now, getting into some very high wind gusts coming with this system. So it still has a lot of damaging winds coming with the system, and it is a huge field. Look how big this system is as it pushes through. And this is going all through Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, all through the Ohio Valley, and it is going out through the Northeast. It is bringing y'all, as 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it's bringing y'all some 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts as well. And maybe a little east of Williamsport could get into the 70s as this pushes offshore later tonight. Now that's when y'all are getting some snowfall, especially around Boston. And you notice right around 3 o'clock in the morning, you get some very high winds for around Boston. We're getting up into the 50 miles per hour wind gusts and a little bit of 60 spikes come right along the coast. So you could get, if not a ground blizzard, potentially a blizzard watch or blizzard warning as this comes through, because you will have snow coming down. And if it's not coming down, it will be blowing sideways and be a ground blizzard. But you still have some very high winds moving through. Let me show you the update with the snowfall, because that has changed as well. Now the snowfall is going to start transitioning right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's still a light amount and then gets really heavy. All the way to 5, 6, 7 o'clock. This is where it starts getting heavy and going further north. But you can see over here for Illinois, like by Champaign, all the way into Lafayette, Indiana, it's all 1 to 2 inches with a little hot spot for 5 inches right there. But it's very light amounts. All this green is all anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of snowfall. But you can see how it starts to really get heavy, especially for Michigan, as you go from 7 o'clock all the way until 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of heavy snowfall. Still showing anywhere from 8 to 10 inches to a foot possible as it goes by northern Indiana, all across Michigan, Jackson, Kalamazoo, all across Flint, towards Sandusky as well. You're getting a lot of good snowfall out of this snowstorm still. And all this green above it is still 2 to 5 inches. Still showing 2 or 3 inches for Detroit. Not a lot of snowfall coming for y'all. You might get 4 or 5 inches. But as it goes through the Northeast, this is where it starts adding up, is overnight for you guys. So once you get into 7 o'clock tonight, it starts building up, and this is Central Time. Once it starts building up at 7 p.m., 8 o'clock your time, it will start building up for western New York, start going into Connecticut, Massachusetts, and by the time you get into the early morning, northern New York is getting heavy snowfall, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, just everybody getting in on a big snowstorm still. Still showing it will be over a foot. Sarasota, maybe 8 to 10 inches. But Vermont, you still have a chance for over a foot, possibly a foot and a half. Also for New Hampshire and for Maine, up to a foot, all the way towards Bangor, where you might get 6 or 7 inches out of it. But you can also see for Boston, it does bring you some snowfall as well. Not a lot, but somewhere around 2 to 5 inches is going to be what your snowfall is going to be. And with the winds coming through, you could get some ground blizzards. There is a potential for that. Let me update you real quick on what is going on with this polar vortex. We still have a lot going on with this polar vortex, and it is showing a little bit deeper. Now, don't get yourself all worried about it. So far, it's still too far to be sure if these temperatures are correct, because they are different from the Euro to the GFS. But I'm going to give you every information that I do have. Now, power outages has gotten a little bit better. You're now in the orange for Texas. You was over 100,000, but California is at 38,000. Texas now at 92, and Louisiana is at 10,000. Arkansas and Mississippi at 5,000 as well. So for the rest of the day, for your severe weather, this is your chance for tornadoes. Yeah, significant severe in the black. It's the same area as the 10% as well. That is chances for strong tornadoes, guys. This is for Nashville, Tennessee, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Franklin, Tennessee. As well as the winds, just like I showed you those very high winds for Tennessee and Kentucky, you have a significant severe chance for damage and winds in that black region. So far, the significant severe is including Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, and Knoxville, Tennessee. As well as that 30%. It's the same areas, except it does include Huntsville, Alabama. And you also have the 15% in the yellow and the 5% in the brown. This is for damage and winds today. But you can see here that from National Weather Service, severe thunderstorm gusts and a few tornadoes are expected today across parts of the southeast into the Tennessee and Ohio valleys. A couple of strong tornadoes are possible. You can also see with the update to 12Z on HRRR with your helicity values. That once you get around 11 and 12 o'clock, that's where it starts getting these strong cells, a lot of vorticity in them. But once you go into the afternoon, it really grows for Tennessee and Kentucky. Chances for strong cells to pass through, which could be a potential tornado. Definitely bring in damage and winds. So just be aware of that. And past that, it shows that it does go all the way till 6 p.m., maybe even all the way to 7 for upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina, western Virginia. This train of storms will continue to keep going all the way to 6 or 7 o'clock tonight in this region. Now let me give you a quick update on this cold air coming in so you know what to expect. On the Arctic Oscillation, you can see with the Euro in the blue, the GFS with the red, that we're still getting this cold dip that's coming down all the way to the 7th. And this one come down again around the 13th, but not as strong as the 7th. So it does show that it does come down towards the south and pushes out the southeast still. One model shows it could be 20s and 30s. One model shows it could be 30s and 40s. But I will give you all the information. But you also can see with your PNA, your Pacific North American pattern, that we're going from a negative towards a neutral phase at that time, and then it ended up being in a positive phase still. So what that means is when you're in a negative PNA, that means that your jet stream is going to come all the way to the southwest and go up on this ridge towards the upper Midwest, upper Ohio Valley. But as it goes into a positive PNA, it's going to come around into this way. But until then, it is going to move across. So there could be a dip to the southwest. Then it's going to move across as we get towards the neutral phase. Then as we go towards a positive phase, it's going to move in this direction. And that is going to change the outcome. Now, I'm still showing it is going to be a dip of cold air like this as we move through the beginning towards the middle of March and go towards the southeast, towards the middle, towards the end of March. You also can see on your EPO, your East Pacific Oscillation, lets you know that if you're going into a deep trough or a high ridge on the west coast of the U.S., I'm still showing this is coming way far to the southwest. Matter of fact, you can see with the Euro, it's doing a very big dip all the way to the 7th. When we get that coldest pocket, the coldest air will be towards the western side of the U.S. And you see how the GFS takes it even deeper all the way to the 10th. Now, this is still bringing very warm temperatures towards Alaska while we get in these cold temperatures. But this is going to be the beginning of the swing. Then it's going to go right back up towards the 10th or the 11th. And you can see this when you look at all North America, look at your jet stream all the way up to the 7th and possibly the 8th. We get this big deep trough on the southwest of the U.S., but when this happens, you get a big high pressure, and it puts a very high ridge all into Alaska, bringing these warm temperatures while we getting these colder temperatures. And then that does move across, and we get a possible system that forms up right around the 10th or the 11th, right where GFS sees that deep dip. So there could be a storm forming up. It's still too far to be sure. If we're already towards 198 hours, so please take this with a grain of salt. Definitely need a lot of fine tuning, but that is a possibility as well. But you can see as you look at your temperatures from the 6th and the 7th that you get a very warm pocket of temperatures going with that high ridge towards Alaska, while we're getting this well below average temperatures coming towards the west coast. Then as you move towards the 10th and the 15th, you can see how it transitions. It goes from the southwest towards that neutral phase, comes towards the center of the U.S., all the way to the 10th, and possibly all the way to the southeast by the 11th and 12th, and bringing well below average temperatures to you. Don't get super panicky about this. This will update as we get closer, and I do expect this to change because the trend has always been that it's not going to be super freezing as it comes towards the south and the southeast. This is with the Euro. This is not by the GFS. And even though the Euro is a great model, remember the Euro was totally wrong on this storm y'all are dealing with now. Because as you look with the same shot with the GFS, you see how as it comes down from the 10th, that it don't go super far. You are going to be below average, but it's not a major below average. Matter of fact, the only thing that is high confidence is around the 10th or 11th, that a little bit more below average will come towards the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley around the 11th and 12th and go towards the southeast. And that is it. That is not as severe as the Euro, and that is what Weather Prediction Center has for a slight risk, and the moderate risk is over here, not for the whole area. And you can see this here from the risk of hazards all the way from the 10th through the 16th. You have a moderate risk from the 10th through the 12th in this dark blue right here. This will be your coldest temperatures. There's going to be single digits to negative temperatures. Then you have it all the way in this light blue that could move even further from the 10th all the way through the 16th. Now this is going to bring you teen temperatures and possibly single digits. But you see right here that you have a slight risk for the south and southeast. And the moderate risk is for this section right here, just like I showed you with the GFS, from the 11th through the 14th. So please don't let these temperatures scare you. Don't let people tell you that you have an Arctic outbreak coming to the south, because not only is that not confirmed, it's showing a slight risk, not the moderate risk, just like I showed you. But you can see with the Euro, as you go towards the 9th and the 10th, so far being the worst outcome, is bringing not only negative temperatures and all this green, all this red is all teens and single digits in the purple. Then as you go a little bit further to the east, you can see it goes a little bit further. Now this is according to the Euro. This is not according to the GFS. Even Weather Prediction Center shows it's a slight risk. But still, the worst case scenario shows this right here. And as it moves a little bit further to the east, it brings freezing temperatures once again around the 11th and 12th towards the southeast, where that could dip down again and maybe even go all the way towards the east coast. But you can see it, literally, we are at the end of the run, guys. Take this with a grain of salt. Euro is not a long-range model. It's a great medium-range model, but GFS has been updated ever since last hurricane season to be more confidence in their forecast system for long-range models. And GFS shows easily that this goes all the way from the 8th through the 10th, not bringing anything super far. This would be a slight risk of lower temperatures. And that's exactly what you have, is a slight risk, where you'd be in 30s and 40s as this passes by. Still have teen temperatures, single digits, negative temperatures for everybody else. It is going to move through pretty quickly. But just for the south and the southeast, because I know that this issue is going to be pushed. People like to do fear porn all the time. But you see easily all the way to 222 hours away, which is still too far. GFS don't take it as bad as what the Euro is showing. Matter of fact, that cold pocket is only showing that it could be for the southeast as you go towards the 15th. Everybody else will be close or right above freezing temperatures, and that is what Weather Prediction Center has it out for. The moderate risk is for here, not the whole area. Remember that, because you are going to see some pretty bad shots today. People's going to change their tone. We got a big, don't fall for it. It's just sales techniques, guys. So far, the Euro is the only one showing it that deep. And just because it's the Euro, don't make it correct. Euro show this snowstorm going out towards Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, foot of snow. It changed to the GFS later after that. Even all those changed to the Canadian because it moved again. So please don't believe that you have 20s and teens coming down to the south central and the southeast. You have a slight risk, not the moderate risk for the whole area. But it is dipping through as we go through the middle of March. But you do see here from National Weather Service for the next 6-10-day temperature probability. This is where you're going to be much below average on your temperatures, while it's a lesser of a percentage for the south and the southeast. And as you go from the 8 to 14 days, all this well below average temperatures moves across the upper Midwest to north central, even gets towards the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, the Ohio Valley, and upper Midwest. And the top half of the deep south, there is that potential as well. But you notice it's not going dark blue all the way down here, and that is what the Euro is showing. Now remember, we are giving away another solar weather station for today, so you must be a subscriber, you must hit the like button, and you must put the comment WeatherMan in the comments below. Very easy to install, guys. So remember, if you want to get that weather station, put that comment below, and I will pick the winner for Sunday when I come back from Sabbath. If you've never been here before, upload every day all year long, just not Friday from sundown to sundown, Saturday. That is Sabbath. And after the storm moves through for today, there's not going to be lives at risk for tomorrow. It is going to be a couple of nice days. At the same time, please share this information. Let people know what's going on with this polar vortex update, because I am 100% definite that a lot of these salesmen out there are going to push this issue with what the Euro is showing. And it's showing a small area for moderate, not a huge area, but it will be pushed. I already know. I already know what's in these people's hearts, guys. I have tested them myself. But God bless all of you. May you stay safe today. Today, I want to read to you Exodus 35, 1 and 2. Just a little reminder. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord hath commanded that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Amen. And of course, I don't wish death on anybody, but you need to follow God. You need to follow God's laws as much as you can. Rest on the Sabbath. Help others on the Sabbath. Do not have work going. Do not have people work for you. So you can tell what's in people's hearts when it comes to Sabbath. And I was a Catholic myself. I was even an altar boy. And the Catholics have it a lot wrong. Not only the graven images they wear, calling themselves Father, and everything else that's going on in the churches. I even seen a video yesterday where a church changed the 10 commandments that he had outside in the front yard. So he's changing God's laws according to his likeness. So please be aware of what God wants from you. He just wants the best for you. But I used to exercise it on Sunday as well, just like a lot of people still do because they don't know the truth. And actually the Roman Catholics has changed this back in the day when they had issues on which day to serve. So he just made it on Sunday. It's after the sun god, guys. It's not after our Father Yahweh. It's after a false god. That's why it's put on Sunday. So please observe Sabbath. It is from Friday, from sundown to sundown, Saturday, not on Sunday. Sunday is the first day of the week. Please practice it. You will feel so much peace in your heart, in your life, because you are doing it right. But regardless of everything, I wish all of you safety through this wind event. It is going to be a huge wind event all afternoon, all night long, with the possibility of a few strong tornadoes. So God bless you and your families and keep you safe during this event. I will see y'all again on Sunday morning after Sabbath, and we'll pick the winner for the solar weather station. But above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And may he bless you, keep you and your family safe throughout this whole event today. I do pray for you. Amen. Hallelujah. Happy Friday, everybody.